Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing on this beautiful Friday morning? I am going to warn you now that we are probably going to go over 9:30. I'm going to try to keep it to 10 o'clock, but we might go over. So, fair warning. And if you can't stay, real life takes precedence, please do not worry. By this afternoon, this live will be on, or I should say this evening, because it takes 2 or 3 hours for TikTok to download it. It takes me about 25 minutes to edit it. It takes another 30 minutes to get it ready to export. And then I don't know what YouTube does. I don't know if it's because there's a lot of people uploading videos and so it takes a long time, but sometimes it's done in 2 hours, sometimes it takes 6 hours. I don't know. Yes, Tim was on one yesterday, and we're going to talk about them, of course. Good morning, good morning. So, we're going to have some raising the consciousness. We're going to have some open mic. But and please forgive me going forward, but I'm going to say this multiple times because people, like, what is wrong with some people? Okay, so I'm starting here. And like I said, I'm going to say this several times because I recognize, thank you guys. I recognize that people come in and out, and I want to make sure everybody understands this. Now, I asked for a couple of things. A, if you're a member of the team, please hit the daily heart me. If you're not, you're just coming in, you want to understand what's going on, stick around. If you like what you hear, hit the daily heart me, join the team. The only other thing that I ask is that every time I change the photo, that you like the live until you see the heart. Keep liking the live until you see the heart's tail. And when you feel the tail, take a break. I don't want fingers broken here trying to like the entire live. I have 2 goals. One is to make sure that the live does not get bananaed over people feeling some type of way. And 2, so that we can end up on the FYP, so that we can hopefully reach people before they dig in their pockets and give money away that won't be appreciated. Because they'll be right back the very next day doing the exact same thing. And you might even get hit up through your payment app later on asking for even more money. So those are the goals, okay? Those are the reasons why I asked for the likes. And so I ask every time I change a photo to like until you feel the heart's tail and then take a break. If you choose to continue to tap or you take a break and you want to tap some more, great, I appreciate it. But that's all I ask for. Oh, thank you, Schindler. Good morning. So, I need to set the record straight. Apparently, in my effort to explain how I run my platform and what I do, people took that to say that I was against the way the Guardians of Valor handled Tim and Angela. Let me be very, very clear. I am 100% in support of Guardians of Valor. The initial letter that he sent was clear. It was concise. It was to request the money to get paid back and to cease and desist in defaming the 2 women he owed money to. He chose to ignore it. He chose to talk about it, read it online, laugh about it as if it was nothing, and go away. The second letter was sent to the owner and the hotel, what could I say? The conglomerate that owns owns those hotels and the hotel as well, to explain that what they were doing was, what's the word? How do I want to say this? Um, they may be crossing the line legally. I'll just put it that way. In their use of the hotel's Wi-Fi for potentially illegal activities when it comes to getting money from across state lines. Wait, follow for follow? Y'all are on one. Correct, fraudulent activities. They said I asked for follow for follow. I said join the team. But, y'all do it. I appealed it. And if I don't get the appeal, we can always start over. Matter of fact, let's just start over. Let's just start over. Because I absolutely want to be on the FYP. So I'm going to end and come right back. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, thank you. Everybody liked the live. Let everybody know we came right back. But I appealed it because, come on now. I didn't ask a single person to follow me. I just said join the team. You're waiting for the scalding tea. As soon as we get to 100, I'll start. 94. 100. Okay. So, I am 100% in support of Guardians of Valor doing what he did. What he did was an attempt to get money returned to the women who were promised to get it paid back and then were blocked. I also very clearly said that I do not believe that the letter in and of itself is what got them kicked out of the hotel. I think it was the final straw. They were cooking in there. They were creating ruckus with their neighbors, so much so that the manager had to come out and say some words and the police got called. Now, they didn't get in trouble when the police got called, but the police got called nonetheless. And motels do not like that. Hotels don't like it, but motels definitely don't want the police clocking what's going on. Now, somebody said there were also other violations. Could it be that they got sick and tired of always having to give an extension? That's a question, not a statement. Dang. I think the appeal got approved. But anyway. So, in my opinion, it was the final straw. But somehow, me saying that I don't go real life led people to believe that I was shading Guardians of Valor and what he did. I'm speaking about my platform. I can't control anybody else. But I am in full support of him and his efforts to get those women their money back. And anybody else that borrowed money, that he borrowed money from and hasn't paid back. So I'm going to say that several times because apparently my language undermined him and his efforts. I need everybody to understand that just because I personally don't do something doesn't necessarily mean that I reject or oppose what somebody else does. Okay? So please. All right. Let's get back. I'm going to say it again, so please forgive me, but I need everybody who comes in to understand that point. Okay? Anyway, regular scheduled programming. Today, we're going to talk about Lexi, Jennifer, of course, TNA, Timothy Nash, Zim, Josh and Ida. They got added at the last minute. I love when you put yourself on the grid. An update on Cody and an update on Asia. Now, some people I'm going to go through pretty quickly because we want to get to the people that I really have things. I don't know, Luna, but you know how people are. There are some people who want to divide the community in any way, shape, or form. There are people who are not fans of mine that would like to make me look like a bad person. It is what it is. But I have no problem standing up and saying what I support, what I don't support, what I do, what I don't do, period. I'm going to stand on it. Period. Okay. Point blank, period. As they told me last night. Okay. Where do we want to start? We're going to start with Cody because hers is really an update. So, you know, I say this about Lisa's live, Timothy's live, and now I'm going to say it about Cody's live. I love when their Wi-Fi is so bad that they're talking junk and nobody can hear it. I love it. Lisa being there begging for money and we hear, try, see, love it. Love it. And that's what happened to Cody. Girl, yesterday we couldn't hear 2 words and you were complaining and complaining about people talking about you. Oh, thank you, Georgie. By the way, gifts are appreciated but not necessary. I would do this regardless. But I appreciate it because it lets me know that you find what I do valuable. And then I take those coins and I share them with other people who I think are doing the good work. Okay. She, after the live on Wednesday, decided to say that we need to get a job, that we are sad, pathetic losers. Why are they always telling us to get a job, but you're the one on TikTok begging? Make that make sense. Yes, thank you, Puppy Power. I'll say hello from it because I'm live from my other phone. Hold on. Please go for... That is where we're going to go in case I get shut down. But yeah, we are sad, pathetic losers. Like, you tried to get every single one of your children's birthday parties covered by the people on TikTok. But we're sad, pathetic losers. You put up a $7,000 wish list, which you called back to school supplies. And we're sad, pathetic losers? Please, let's be intellectually honest. And I wrote down, if that isn't the pot calling the kettle black. Girl. And then I wrote, please go live when you have a steady stream. And then someone said, oh, taps and roses will help everyone. So apparently taps and roses help make your Wi-Fi stable. What? Mind you, she's walking. So how do taps and roses make it more stable? Now, if it was TikTok that was causing her life to be unstable, that might help. But that's just going to get more people in here and give her gifts. Come on now. Come on now. Taps and roses will make it more stable. Be for real. So apparently, someone from TikTok reached out to the kid's aunt and told them that she was already back begging for money and gifts. And so she got very angry about it. Tristan Pieces and Joanna Kropo. I have been watching both. So there may be a follow-up later. Not today, but at some point. But I have been watching both of them. Okay. So she's angry about somebody contacting the aunt and saying that. This is the thing. The aunt wouldn't have anything to say if you weren't doing it. If you were able to say to her, nope, I go live and I just talk about my day. I find out how my supporters' day are. I give them a story time and that's it. She loves to rewrite history and say, I only mentioned the Amazon wish list 5 times. But this is the thing. If you pay close attention, while she is complaining about what we do, she's mentioning the Amazon wish list over and over and over again. You think I haven't picked up what you're putting down, Cody? By complaining about what it is that we say and do and making sure you mention it, you are promoting it the same way as if you said, hey guys, I have an Amazon wish list. And then you're adding in that we're mistreating you for it, which garners sympathy. Girl, I see straight through you. Straight through you. If you cared about your supporters, you would say to the kids, listen, I understand that this is what you may want, but we need to put something reasonable there because I don't want to take advantage of the people that have been supporting me. No, that wasn't it. Put on there whatever you want. It's a wish list. And the problem is that you are now setting the expectation in the kids' minds that they're going to get this stuff. And let's say one person gets the pair of sneakers they want and the other one doesn't. What are you going to do? Why did they get their sneakers and I didn't get mine? In my opinion, that's taking advantage of the people who care about you on this app. Because people are going to feel obligated that if we're going to buy one backpack, we need to buy them all. And then on top of that, we need to fill your home with daily necessities. I don't think we are the ones who need a job. I think you do. And now that your daughter is no longer in the home, which is what you said was the reason why you couldn't work, now that she's not there, where's your job? Where's your job? You go get a job and stop begging on TikTok. Then one of her mods, is it Mama Love, said, text me, I have an idea. And I wrote down, I wonder what's next. I wonder what idea you have that's going to help her out. I wonder. So yesterday, she's walking and trying to, again, complain about what people are talking about. And that Wi-Fi was so bad, it didn't even matter. She said she was going to come back, but I didn't stick around to find out if she did. But that's the update on that. You can try to cover your promotion of your Amazon wish list and into complaining about us, but all you are doing is promoting your Amazon wish list. And if y'all haven't gone to go see it, go check it out. It's in her bio. It's linked in her bio. Go check out some of the ridiculous items she has up there for children. You want $160 pair of Nikes for a child to wear to school? Looks like most of it is gone. I bet it is. I bet it is. But even if it's gone, I took screenshots because I need proof behind what I say. Let's find it. There you go. There you go. There you go. 136, 101, 62, 69. Four belts that all look alike. She must have had like screenshots, 4 pictures of snacks. What did you want, snacks for the entire school year? And it went on and on and on. To the point where it was over $7,000. You're mad that got exposed. If you don't want that level of exposure, stop doing it. Well, all TikTok has is a link in her bio. They don't then go look in the bio, see what it is, and say that it's too much. Why would they? So she still is the dry begging queen, but she has some runners up that might overtake her. Oh, what, Candy? Here we go. First thing in the morning. Love you, darling. Thank you so much. You always find something that I've never seen. But thank you. So, Cody, if you want me in particular to stop, you stop. Go get a job. Do something with your time. And then you won't end up on my list. But as long as you are taking advantage of people, yeah, you're going to be here. telling us we're sad, pathetic losers. Okay. Now, let's do another kind of update. Big Zim. Big Zim. I'm going to need you to pipe down while you're still begging people for money. It's absolutely fascinating to me that when you get mad, we pay the bills around here. Where? Because every time I turn around, you need money for, like, she's literally becoming another Maggie. Where one day it's $70 for groceries. The next day it's $300 for something else. Then the next day it's $50 for groceries. Then it's $300 for X, Y, and Z. Why? Why? And if you've never watched her before, she has 2 accounts. Thank you very much, Disturbed One. She has 2 accounts. Big Zim and Zimnik the Biggest. Go check her out. She was irritated because somebody kept calling her in the background, and she said it was to derail her live. She was basically insinuating that it was a hater, and to try to prevent her from being able to ask for the money she needed, they kept calling, which kept pausing her live. Girl, all you have to do is turn off calling. Yes, for the record, she has 5 children with her baby daddy, and it is very questionable about whether she has a job, but baby daddy doesn't have a job. She is now pregnant with number 6, and because they are upset that it's a little girl, they're already talking about having number 7 so she can get a second boy. And the other day, I was actually on my way to an appointment, and this was yesterday, and she was trying to explain to everybody that they weren't trying to get pregnant, but they were drinking, and that's the result. Now, she's only 26 years old, I believe. On her 6th child. On her 6th child. Six under 6, yep. And yet, you have a nerve to sit on live and act like you're better than somebody else. She actually tried to criticize Quay. Girl, how are you any better than Quay? Quay is having multiple babies with, I guess it's her boyfriend? What, you feel better because y'all live in the same household? He hasn't made the ultimate commitment to marry you. But you guys love God. Correct, he's not working. He claims that he sold his Xbox or PlayStation and was like, this is proof to y'all that I'm serious about this. No, serious about this would be to go get a job. And I'm sure the excuse will be, well, I'm working, so somebody got to be with the kids. Ma'am, you are getting ready to pop. You're the one who should be home. Mrs. Mandy, I heard that. I haven't seen anybody provide any proof of that. So, I'm not going to say it. But I have heard that. Same person who... So, it's my understanding that, yes, he did pop her in the face with a phone. It damaged her eye. But instead of going to check it out, going to make sure that her eye was going to be okay, she waited and waited and waited and waited until it got infected and pussy. And by the time she did go, I think it was the ER, the eye was too far gone. Now, if you're not willing to take care of your health in that way, I have concerns. I have serious concerns. And procreating with someone that has such close DNA, as in you both have the same father, is dangerous to the children. It is dangerous to the children. Because you have like, you can have a recessive gene of something. If you both have the recessive gene, it can become a dominant gene in your offspring. Heather, that's what I heard, and somebody in the comments said they have the same father, different mothers. Now again, I haven't seen proof, so I can't say for sure, but I'm speaking in general terms. It's even bad when it's cousins. I pray that none of her beautiful children are affected by any genes that are recessive in the both of them. Correct, because it is dangerous. She told all this back in the day. Yeah, but she'll probably say now that it was rage bait. I was lying. Then she called out somebody named Christina. But you had about a handful of people in there, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4 mods for a handful of people. That tells you something. Mind you, she got upset with them because I forgot what somebody said. I didn't write it down. But somebody just said something and they pinned it. And she got mad at them pinning that and was like, why would you pin that? You need to pin my goal. Why aren't you pinning my goal? Girl. So I don't know what she was asking for post the live on Wednesday, but later I wrote down that the goal was $360 for moving expenses. Where are they going? Did they get kicked out of housing or something? I don't know, but now they got $360 for moving expenses. And wait, did she ask for more later? No, that was somebody else. Sorry. I'm about to confuse two people. But she'll be back on today asking for something else and feeling well within her right that people owe that to her. Wait a minute. I feel as though she's trying to get bets and stuff because of CPS. Perhaps. Yes, it was required back in the day. You had to get a blood test. For a fact. Penny, you know what's interesting? Initially, people weren't seeing it, but more and more people are seeing it now. She is struggling to get the money she's looking for. It is taking her a long time. And for me, that's progress. We need to count that as a win. If they used to be able to get it in an hour, it's now taking 3 or 4. That's a win. In some cases, she doesn't get it. The other night, when she wanted $70 in groceries, claiming that they wanted it to cook for us, when she didn't get it, and it literally got too late, mind you, the kids weren't fed. This wasn't for her and her man. This was for the entire family. When she didn't get it, she asked for an additional $4. She already had 2 so that she could get ice because that's what she wanted to eat on. What? Correct. Is it Ezer? Correct. That's what they do. They use children and babies to get money out of people. Because we wouldn't want a child to starve. None of us do. But we'll be watching. Let's go to the and pets. Correct. This one. Now, what's funny is she spent all that money to get that hair done. And now she wants to take it out and do a ponytail. It's going to take a long time to get those braids out, by the way. It can take 8 hours to get it put in and just as many hours to get it taken out. Yes, please, everybody, tap the live because I have changed the photo. So she was up at 12:40 in the morning. Why I'm awake at 12:40 in the morning doesn't mind your business. But she was up at 12:40 in the morning. So was Maggie, but we're saving Maggie for tomorrow night. And remember, guys, I'm not doing all the talking tomorrow night. I want to hear from y'all on Maggie and Beth. So 12:40 in the morning, and she was looking for hotel food and whatever else she needed. There were 44 people in there, and she's right. Probably most of them are us. You can't wait? Good. Mind you, she's cleaning and begging at 12:40 in the morning. And it made me instantly think about the fact that she was upset that 2 other people at the hotel were having a conversation out loud. Now I'm not gonna lie, they were loud. But I said then, you're irritated. That's her favorite word. I'm so irritated that they were doing that, but you think people aren't irritated at hearing you at 1 o'clock in the morning begging for money? You got blocked? Yeah. Yeah, because she was cooking, like really cooking in the room. So she's cleaning and begging. Then she started this whole thing. Don't tell me I let you stay on here for no reason. Then she actually sung, someone is getting blocked today. And then she got mad that somebody said something about her gifts being off. Which I have found that a lot lately. That TikTok is taking people's gifts away. And then she got mad at them because they muted somebody. And she was like, don't mute people without me knowing. But you want to block people for not sending? Make it make sense. Then she blocked somebody for sharing 3 times. And then it was a demand that you say something or send something. Now, for those of us who go in on ghost mode, don't be tricked by that. By saying something, that's how she knows you're there. Stay quiet. Because she needs you to say something to block you. No, her content is begging. That is her content. At least I try to entertain a little bit. Then she starts naming people as she blocks them. And then I'm hungry as shit. Okay, I got a violation for harassment. I don't care, I'm not starting again. Then she was upset because she had been live for 2 hours and 40 minutes. And even though she got rid of so many people, she still didn't get any money. So she starts culling it again. I'm going to have to put the no bullying at the bottom. But it's not going to matter. Again, you can do it on TikTok on a public platform, but I can't talk about it? Okay. She said she needs $38 more for the room, but she also wants to get a tuna melt from Wawa. She again is upset that the trolls are watching. But boo-boo, that's the only reason why you have anybody in your live at all. Oh, thank you guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. The only reason why you have anybody in here watching at all is because of your so-called trolls. And my thing is this. While you were up cleaning the room, begging for $38 plus money to go get a sandwich from Wawa, you could be applying for a job. Now, I told you guys a story the other day where she was live with somebody else talking about how she loved working at Amazon, but she was terminated from Amazon, and that you can't reapply to Amazon for 90 days. So is the plan that you get taken care of for 90 days until you can apply again? Really, Larissa? The audacity never ends. Thank you. It never ends. They don't have any sense of appropriateness. What makes sense? And the problem is, in my opinion, one of the problems about her is that she's actually young. I think she's only 20. She's only 20. At 20, where is your gumption to get up and go? Don't you want an apartment? Don't you want a car? Don't you want to be able to travel and go places and do things? You decided to settle your life in a motel at 20? I wanted everything and to go everywhere. It's ridiculous. And so as long as she's on TikTok still begging for money, I'm going to talk about it. I don't know anything about her parents, but her backstory is that she was living with her grandmother, taking care of her grandmother and working, apparently. But that her grandmother is an alcoholic. And so when she tried to intervene and not buy her grandmother alcohol or give her grandmother access to it, her grandmother kicked her out. And she's been homeless since. That's the story. Oh, the grandmother passed? I didn't even hear that part. Correct. A job meant freedom. A job meant that you didn't have to ask your parents for money, and therefore you could do what you wanted with it. Oh, rest in peace to her grandmother. That's hard to go through regardless. So I hope she found peace with it, because that's difficult. But maybe that explains why she's still been homeless. I don't know anything about any other family member other than the grandmother. Her mother's in the same... I tell y'all all the time, there's a reason why they quote unquote don't have family when it really is that they don't have family that wants to deal with them. Now, I'm not saying that it's all their fault. Sometimes parents can be wrong. Sometimes parents are like, you need alienation from your parents because of either things they've done in the past or things they're doing now. So I don't begrudge anybody, but that's not always the case. That's not always the case. And I heard you, Asia, when you said that it's crazy and stalkerish to you that I'm up early talking about you and worrying about you before you're even awake. Get a job and stop begging on TikTok, expecting people to pay your way every single day, and I'll stop talking about you. Deal? I'll stop worrying about you. Deal? Okay, cool. Hold on. I can't even read my own handwriting. Oh. Okay. Let's talk Lexi. Now, I've watched her a few times. Never covered her. Never covered her. But her most recent story makes absolutely no sense to me. Okay? Everybody like the live, tap the live. Tap the screen. So I'm just going to tell you the story. I'm not even going to tell you the order in which she said it because that doesn't matter. So her total goal is $5,000. She says that next week she will have $2,000. So she only needs $3,000 from TikTok. Let me explain why she wants that money. So according to her, she's being evicted. As the story goes, she hasn't gotten the letter for eviction yet. So she has no proof that she's being evicted. People are only supposed to take her word. Good morning, all for one. only supposed to take her word for it. She has nothing. But that should inform you that she hasn't gone through a single process to actually being evicted, because she doesn't even have the initial letter saying that she's going to be evicted. She hasn't been to court. There's no court date. There's been no court filing. So, according to her, the story goes that the landlord has said that they're going to evict her because she let the father of her children come when one of the children were sick and spend the night. And that was a lease violation. And so they were kicking her out. Now, there are certain, especially in housing, they have rules. And one of the rules is that they can ban people from the property. So it's often due to criminal activity or problems they have created within the housing community, right? She says he is not banned. Most leases will say you can have company and they give you a time limit. Usually it's less than 2 weeks, or like at the 2-week mark. And the reason why is because if someone stays there for 30 days and receives a letter of any, they could mail themselves a letter. They then have, for lack of a better term, squatters' rights. So usually a lease will outline, or I shouldn't say usually, some leases will outline how long you can have a visitor. 1 day is never going to violate that. And according to her, he was not banned from the property. There is no way a judge is going to grant a eviction because the father of her child, while the child was sick, spent the night. 1 night. It's 3 days in Connecticut now. It used to be longer. But according to her, it was 1 night. In Georgia, it's 2 weeks. Yeah. It's usually in that range. But it's always way less than 30 days. Always. So she lives in North Carolina. Can anybody look up what the limit in North Carolina is for visitors to stay in your apartment? So now let's remember, she hasn't even gotten the initial letter. According to her, her landlord was either going to drop it off today or Monday. So she doesn't even have the letter. She claims that she just spoke to her. So you are nowhere near eviction. Nowhere near eviction. And yet you're telling people you need to raise $3,000 to move. And her excuse for why she's pushing so hard now is that we are close to the return of school and she wants her children settled before school starts. It's 14 days in North Carolina? Okay, so there's no way a judge would evict you because somebody spent 1 night there, unless they were on a bans list, you knew it, and let them stay there. So she then said that the person next door was supposed to be evicted, but they're still there and they haven't packed anything or nothing. It's probably because they're letting the eviction process play out. She claims that she's never been late on the rent, so that can't be the issue. But what she also said was that she lives in between two other apartments, and the people in those two apartments next to her got into it. And they went outside on the particular night that the baby daddy was there, and went outside, and they called the police. The police came, took statements, and left. And so she thinks that's also the reason why they're being targeted, was because they called the police to settle the matter. Again, that would be an illegal eviction. That would be an illegal eviction. Who asks for $3,000 to move? And let's be clear, she wants $5,000 in total because she needs the deposit, first month's rent, in some cases last month's rent, boxes, and she's going to need to pay somebody to take care of the kids while she moves. So you literally want every expense covered so that your transition can be as easy as possible. Now, I can understand moving before there's an eviction on your record. But if the story you are telling is true, that sounds like an illegal eviction to me. They don't just move. They move before the eviction. So, like, if you go to court and say to the judge, I'm not going to fight the eviction, I'm going to move, and they give you, let's say they give you 30 days to move, and you move in that 30 days, the eviction doesn't show up on your record. It's not until they actually have to put you out, or there's the summary, I think it's called the summary judgment of eviction. Crashly, exactly. They literally want to do it as if they had the money to do it. And I'm not going to front. I blame social media. Because we didn't get to see how the wealthy did things like that. You ever watch like a very, very popular, who therefore is earning a lot of money on social media, do things like move into a bigger home? Everything is perfectly organized. All the okay, I'll give you an example. You know the makeup girl, what's her name? Michaela. Her and her husband just moved into a much larger house that I think she said was going to be there forever home or whatever. Yes, they did pack up some things, but it was organized and everything, and she was going to have somebody come in, move the stuff, set the stuff up for her. And so when you see that, you think she didn't get a box from behind a store. She purchased boxes. Everything was highly organized. And so I think people see that and think, oh, that's how I want to move. Yup, I feel you. Tax time is a great time to do anything. But I don't understand how you're already trying to raise $3,000 and you haven't even gone to court. And she's like, no shelter is going to take us because, it's me and 3 kids. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Do y'all remember the story that I told y'all a few months back about, this was during the winter, where the woman, her mother, her sisters, and her kids were all living in a van, and they were in a parking garage, and 2 of her children passed? Suddenly, there was housing available for her. I know she did, because it turned out she was in the casino instead of taking care of her children. But miraculously, there was a house available. Miraculously, there was actually a shelter down the street from the casino she was in that had room for all of them. And somehow she slid through the cracks. Local government doesn't want it to get out that they have ignored a mother and her 3 children who are homeless. They will jump through hoops to avoid that headline. So either she's lying about the eviction, she's lying about the reason for the eviction, or there's something else that's a part of this story that's missing. But it doesn't make sense. And you know what I say? When it doesn't make sense, it is probably not true. So I'm going to keep watching. She isn't paying rent where she's currently at. Should have money to pay her own. She used to beg, saying she was homeless. Well, it doesn't make sense. The story just, you don't even have the letter yet, and you're already asking for money based on what you say was a phone call, but you have literally no proof that an eviction is even taking place? Yeah. Miss me on that one. Okay. I know I told you guys I need to do it again. So for everybody who wasn't here earlier, I want to make it incredibly clear that I support the Guardians of Valor 120%. When I said that I don't go real life, that I don't call people, etc., I was not trying to undermine the Guardians of Valor's efforts to get those 2 women who Tim and Angela owe money to, their money back. And to ask them to cease and desist in defaming their character. I 100% support that. The same way that if I think a child or an animal was being abused, I support calling the agencies and the official agencies involved with ensuring their care 110%. Tim decided not to follow it. He thought it was a joke. And if Tim was involved in any illegal activity that was interstate, Guardians of Valor was well within his right to let them know that there was the potential for illegal activity. He didn't tell them to kick him out. He informed them of what was going on. It was the hotel's obligation to investigate and make a decision. And what I said very clearly is that I don't think that the letter is what got kicked them out. I think it was the final straw. Period. So for anybody to try to insinuate that I was saying that the Guardians of Valor effort was beyond the pale, was a step too far, you got it wrong. I support him in his efforts. Now, do I support everything that people do? No. But I also cannot control what anybody else does. I can only control myself. And I can only run my platform. And I can only run it the way that I choose based on my moral compass. My platform doesn't require to go real life for everything. But if they potentially were involved in interstate illegal activities, why wouldn't he be within his right to make that clear? And it was up to the hotel to decide. So stop trying to cause division within the community. Okay? Please. It's not necessary. We're all supposed to be on the same side. And then I'm finding out people are like, Digital said what Guardian did. And please stop. Stop focusing on us and focus on the scammers. Good morning. Okay. Back to regular scheduled programming. Who are we doing next? So I brought you guys Jennifer a few days ago. Thank you, Just Kim. I appreciate it. So she has returned to the list because, excuse my language, she is full of shit. Now, of course, I knew that, which is why I'm going to get there shortly, Jessica. Which is why I brought her to you guys originally. This is her act. If you've never seen her before, go check her out. You will not have to be there long. Yes, please tap the live. So, Jennifer goes live 45 times a day. She goes live for a little while when she isn't getting anything, which she, according to her, she hasn't gotten a dime, but she has marriage proposals in her live stream. Multiple. I love you. Let me take care of you. Come here, come there, whatever the case may be. And she ignores them all, but denies having gotten a single penny from anybody. So she comes live and she's like, hey guys, I'm really hurting. I'm really sad. I'm really hurting. The medication that I take for pain isn't working. Mind you, the only thing she's been taking for pain is Tylenol. Baby girl, that's not real pain if you're able to handle it with Tylenol. I even made some suggestions to her. I say get Advil 2. If you guys aren't aware, Advil 2 is ibuprofen and acetaminophen together. Remember back in the day when they would be like, take Motrin and Tylenol? Take Motrin every 8 hours and take Tylenol every 4? Well, Advil put them together. It's called Advil 2. It's a stronger combination. There are a number of medications that are higher than just Tylenol. But it's too much for her. And guys, please, if anybody can help, if you DM me, I can show you the proof, blah, 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 blah. So, The original story for why she needed the money was that her rent was past due and she had no way of paying it. And that went on for a while. And of course, if you ask her, did you get any of it? She says no. She claims that if you DM her, she can send you the document that she needed to, at the very least, pay the late fees or her mom and herself would be evicted. But if you wanted the proof, let her know and she'll show you the proof. But not on TikTok. That was the story that went on for a long time. The new story, or I should say the next story, was that she had taken out a loan and wasn't able to pay the loan back, and now they were after her for every dime. What happened to the rent? And now the new story is that she needs to have a surgery. They, of course, don't have the money, but she needs the exact same amount to get this surgery. And so it used to be, guys, I can't leave the house because I owe the rent and blah, blah, blah. Now the story is that, guys, I'm really in a lot of pain. The pain medicine isn't working. I really need to get the surgery. Can you please help me? But you can ask her over and over again to provide the proof, and she claims she cannot. Now, if you can let me see it in the background, I could turn around and post it. So what do you mean? You can either show it to the masses or you can't. But can anybody explain to me why in the space of 1 week we can go from rent to a loan to surgery and make that make sense? Somebody explain it. And now that she's figured out the block button, if you ask too many questions that will pin her to the floor, suddenly she needs to restart. I swear she must come live 15 times. I mean, she's there for 10 minutes, off and comes back, off and comes back, off and comes back. It's ridiculous. She also claims to live in Dubai. We'll be watching Jennifer Soft Glow Miss, whatever it is. You're only getting away with this because of the way that you look. But your looks do not affect me. Brittany, I don't know. First it was the rent, then it was a loan, and now she's trying to raise money for a surgery. It's ridiculous. Okay, now, there has been a great deal of confusion about the new TikTok update. Right, Amy? If she didn't move around, I would say she was AI. Anyway, I did a lot of big digging to try to find where all of these rules were coming from. I saw pretty posts that had all of the new rules, but no source. I've asked multiple people to find the source of all of these new rules. I wasn't just sitting there asking them for the source. I dug for the source. And I'm going to show you what I found. Now, if anybody has a source, and what I mean by source, that it is on TikTok's website. That's the only source I'm accepting. Not another streamer on TikTok. Not another content creator on TikTok. I want it from TikTok. Let me tell you what I found, or let me show you what I found. Oh no, hold on guys. Oh no, hold on guys. Hold on guys. So, these are the July 25th updates that I was able to find. Number one, live music and performing. From July the 25th, creators can't perform music or stream DJ or AI generated tracks during live sessions. This means no singing, DJ sets, or playing background music while broadcasting live. Number two, tighter branded content rules. The branded content policy has been revamped with expanded age restrictions and stricter rules on body image, healthcare, religion, and additional coverage for alcohol, dating apps, financial service, and over-the-counter medications. Influencers and brands must now use clearer disclosures with enforcement tools to ensure compliance. Sponsored posts now need to be much more transparent. 3. Coins and rewards changes. This update also affects the coins, gifts, and rewards system, likely altering payout schedules, eligibility, and data transparency. Creators using these monetization features should review the new terms. Number 4, terms of service and policy consolidation. These changes are a part of an across-the-board update to TikTok's terms of service. Business terms, music licensing, commercial music library, rewards and coin policies, and branded content guidelines coming into effect July 25 or the 25th. What you need to do is to read the full new policies available on TikTok's site regarding branded content, music, coins, and terms of service. If you are a creator, brand, or marketer, double check music usage rights and licensing, especially in branded content. Adjust live stream plans to remove musical elements. Verify your eligibility for coins, gifts, and review payout models. Put clear sponsorship disclaimers on all branded posts. and your continued use of TikTok after July the 25th, you automatically agree to these new rules. So review them. So no more live music. That means no singing, DJing, or AI tracks on your live stream. Branded content is now more tightly regulated, so be super transparent. Monetization systems such as coins and gifts have changed. Review your setup. And the new policy landscape across multiple areas that the use of TikTok after today is your acceptance. They don't need something from you individually. So please stop running around giving information, sharing information that you cannot find a source for. Hey, Ladybug. Okay? Because everybody's running around TikTok. Oh, the new rules. Oh, the new rules. Oh, the new rules. If you can find a source for those new rules, please post it. And I do not want it to be somebody else's live. Somebody else's post. I want to see it from TikTok. Because the last time they updated their rules, everybody was running around, ha ha, you're not going to be able to beg on TikTok anymore. And guess what? It turned out that it was only for people who were monetized. And they went right back to begging. This time it's supposed to be you can't stream other people, you can't download their content, you can't use a green screen in your live, all of this stuff. And I couldn't find a single word about any of it. Now I do feel bad for people who sing, who are showing their talent. I feel bad for DJs even. But what is very clear is that TikTok is tired of the lawsuits of people being able to use other people's music and they don't get paid for it. So now you can't do it anymore unless you have the express written consent of the artist that you're doing. The word candy apple was created that day? I don't understand. They do it on Instagram. Why would you not be able to use a green screen, which is part of TikTok's platform? Make that make sense. So please, slow down. Just because someone shows it on TikTok and you do realize that you can get all of TikTok's logos and create your own form, right? Just because it has TikTok symbol and the world symbol and it sounds like they're using you can use ChatGPT to say create a page with TikTok logos, etc., that has these rules. And ChatGPT will create it for you. And it'll look official. Until you can go to TikTok.com and see it, don't spread it. Period. Because there are people who believe it. They think, oh my God, this is happening. What am I going to do, etc., for it to mean absolutely nothing. So please be careful. Ladybug hilarious. So again, correct, Bella. I love ChatGPT. I love it. It's my best friend. Does this mean what, Barbie? Oh, correct. Rochester goat. Cat juice. A number of people started posting what was supposed to be new rules from TikTok starting today. And I can't find a single TikTok source that says any of that. So I just read what the update is for, and when we end, I'm going to post it on my page. Barbie, that wasn't part of the rules or the update. Whoever created that was lying, in my opinion. There is no rule that says you cannot record. And how could they enforce that? If I'm screen recording from my phone, how can they enforce that? There's no more playing music. There's no more DJing. There's no more singing copyrighted songs. Let me go back. I'm going to go back one page. That's what you need to know. Screenshot it if you have to. Undocumented. You know what? Ladybug, you doing too much. Screenshot it if you have to. But I will post this on my page as soon as the live is over. And if anyone can find a source that is TikTok official that says anything other than these things, I will recant. I will say that I was wrong and these are the rules. But this is all I could find from multiple sources. Multiple sources. And I asked other people to find it. And this is also what they came up with. So please be careful. Just because somebody posted on TikTok doesn't make it true. And we should know that. But boy, do lies. Yeah, Gabby can't sing. That's true. that is a blessing. Thank you, Batty. Gabby can no longer sing. You gotta love it when it works. Okay. Now, let's get to the meat of why everybody is here. Well, no. Sorry. We gotta do one more. So, you know, I gotta search my notes. So we now know he wasn't in jail. And we know that when he finally came back, everyone tap, tap, tap. When he finally came back, the comeback was that he had been in the hospital for several days because he was burned, or his tent was burned with him in it by the same kids who poured coffee on his face in the middle of the woods with hot coffee. Again, find me the kid walking around the woods with hot coffee and you will hear an apology from me. And in said fire, he lost everything. He lost all of his clothes. He lost the $1,000 that he got out of his bank account that he was going to use to buy a camper. He lost his IDs. He lost everything. besides the clothes on his back. That's what he said. Isn't it convenient? So, hold on. Hold on, guys. I'm looking for something specific. Oh, wait a minute. Where did I write that? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. I'm confusing two sets of notes. I'm sorry. So I like to give credit where credit is due. I got this from Nookie5150 on YouTube. I saw the live. I didn't catch it all. It was 13 minutes. So I didn't watch it. I watched part of it live. I didn't finish it. And I wanted to see the entire 13 minutes. So I went on Nookie's page on YouTube and I watched it. He loves to say, so this was from the 23rd. He loves to say, which is now a red flag of mine, he needs to figure something out in order to eat and have water. That was thing one. My question is, if you're figuring it out, why are you on TikTok? That's not figuring it out. That's asking TikTok to figure it out. And then I wrote down, didn't you have a 10-care Medicaid and SNAP interview? You also said you had a place to get it mailed. I don't think you had a place to get it mailed, because when someone said, where's it getting mailed, you told them to mind their business. What I think is that you were able to just pick it up. Oh yeah, he is uber emotional. Now, he was just able to pick it up. Personally, I think he already had it. And I will explain in a minute why I believe that to be the case. I think the phone call that he had on the 8th of July was a recertification. So, you know how I always tell you there's a little truth in all of the lies that they tell? He probably did have a phone call with 10-care. But I think it was a recertification. Wait, what's happening? Okay, all right. So, let me get back. But either way, it's been more than 7 days. It's been more than 7 business days. Where's your card, sir? And if you have food stamps, why are you begging for food and water to be covered by your audience and not SNAP?
Someone was detected at your front door.
You would also then be able to get your medications covered by Medicaid or 10-care. Why are you asking for your medications to be covered? So then I decided to go back and actually look at... Heidi, I know that's a fact. To look back at what we know. So he told us on July the 7th that he had a call with 10-care the very next day on 7/8 at 2 p.m. On 7/9, he reported to us that he confirmed that he did have a conversation with TennCare. Now, he said that because of the fire, the gym, and I believe it's Planet Fitness, but I'm not exactly sure. Because of the fire, the gym gave him a free membership. It was either 1 month or 2 months, which is the equivalent of $25 a month. So I went to look and see if there was a report of a fire of a man in a tent. Because how else would Planet Fitness find out about said fire in a tent in the woods? Couldn't find one. The only thing that I could find in that area was where was a woman was burned in a tent in a fire, and she didn't make it. So how did Planet Fitness find out? Okay. On the 12th is the day he begged for money for the lawnmower and gas so he could cut grass and make money. On the 21st is when he announces that the fire, using the very gasoline that he got to do the lawnmower and cutting the grass, is, which somebody else had to pay for, right? Is the gas used to light his tent on fire. You know how we often say, be careful, your dollar could be the dollar that unalives them? We're usually talking about people on rugs. But now we have to talk about people in general. Because according to him, the money you sent him so he could get the gasoline, so that he could get the tent, are the things that almost unalived him. Make that make sense. If there in fact was a fire, it wasn't kids running through the woods while you were sleeping. It was you. It was the cigarette in your hand that you let drop. And I wouldn't even be surprised if he didn't have the gas can in the tent with him. Kids running around? Where's the police report? Well, he said he didn't have the CA card, that he could use it on the phone that was purchased by the people, by the police officers who helped him when he got to the ER. You want me to believe that the police got you a phone and you already have your CA uploaded there? Make that make sense. And did Tim ever say he cut anybody's grass? I never heard him come back and say, you know, guys, thank you so much. I was able to cut 10 lawns and I earned such and such. Nope. Yeah, the police also gave him shoes. But by now, if he was getting a brand new TennCare card, he should have it by now. The business days have run out. But this is my question. You have had multiple ER visits. This latest one came from the fire. Who's paying the ER? Now, don't get me wrong. Most ERs have to treat you regardless of your ability to pay. It doesn't mean that you don't have a bill. And because the hospital wants to get paid, They have social workers that help people get on social services. But you had your phone call on the 8th. So by the time you went in the hospital from the fire on the 20th, your insurance should have kicked in. So then why are you asking for money for your medication, sir? And oh, by the way, if you have medications, there has to be a doctor writing the prescriptions. So who's paying the doctor's office? Even if it's every 90 days. It's not like it used to be where the doctor, you call and say, I'm out of my medication, and they just write you another prescription. No, no, no. You need to go and see them. So who's paying the doctor to write you your prescriptions? Who's paying the doctor for your office visits? I have never once heard him ask for a copay to the ER or to the doctor. But somehow his medications aren't covered. He often uses the seizure medication because, of course, without that, he could potentially have a seizure. Then it's, I've detoxed off my psych meds. Psych meds when? When did we start psych meds? And then someone asked him how he was treating his cancer, and he actually said, by using medication and surgeries. What surgery has he had for his cancer? Barbara, he has to have it. What surgery? The one on his leg that he covered up with a maxi pad, sticky side down? The open heart surgery that he had that doesn't have a scar? What surgery? And if you all recall, when he started doing well, when he was working and all of that, didn't he say he got off of all of his cancer meds? That he was done with that? That he was doing better without it? I remember that. That the only thing he took was the devil's lettuce. But now, of course, ER visits are covered, doctor's office visits are covered, but the medication isn't. Please, somebody make sense of that to me. Has he ever shown a receipt from the pharmacy that shows the RX number and the cost of the prescription? And you can compare the RX number on the receipt with the RX number on the package. I'm not saying for him to be able to pick up a receipt from somebody else and just show it. No, I need the correlation. I need the RX number, the amount you paid, and the prescription RX number. I don't need for you to tell me what the medication is. I want proof that you picked it up, the price of it, and confirmation that that in fact is the same RX as the one you have in your hand. Otherwise, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You're lying. The same way you lied in Philadelphia saying that you didn't have it, that there was a grant covering your cancer treatment, but it didn't cover your medications. Correct. So until then, stop it. Stop it. Because even if he had said surgery, you understand that when you have a surgery, there are separate bills. There's a hospital fee, which includes the room, the nursing, the food. There's medication fee. There's the surgeon's fee. There's the anesthesiologist's fee, which is all billed separately to your insurance company. So if you had a grant, the grant paid for all of that, but not your regular cancer medication. Radiologist fee, if they had to use radiology. Absolutely. Any services that are outside of the hospital's responsibility are billed separately when you have a surgery. It's even billed separately when you go to the ER if you had to have services, if they had to do radiology. The lab work that has to be done. But he says he spent 2 days in the hospital but can't show a single injury. And didn't say, like, oh, it was smoke inhalation. Because then they definitely have to do a chest x-ray. Just that he was in the ER for 2 days. He has been lying this entire time about not having insurance and being denied over and over and over again. Because there is no way that he's been getting all of these doctors, whoever's writing the prescriptions that he claims that he has, they want to get paid too. I don't know any doctor now that's writing prescriptions for free. Even Tim and Angela say that they get their doctor's visits and their medication from the health department. And the city or state is paying the doctors and the medication in order to give it to them for free. There has to be somebody getting paid in order for you to get it. Correct, members. Correct. So even if they found him this quote-unquote grant to cover his cancer treatment, the medications would be included. What would be the point of covering the doctor, covering the hospital, but not the medications to treat said cancer? And who, if the grant was covering your medications for cancer, who was covering your seizure medications? Who was covering your psych medications? Or did all of those things just start to happen when you got to Tennessee? And where did you find the doctor in Tennessee? Because you've been moving all over. So what doctor is following you all over the state of Tennessee? Listen, y'all. I know when I put it all together, it makes logical sense, right? I don't understand how a mod could not put this together for themselves. 1 plus 1 equals 2. How can you say he has never lied to you when he hasn't been able to show the proof of any of these things? And I'm sorry, if you are asking people for money, it is your obligation to show proof before you get the money. This whole thing, I only owe an explanation to the people who send, is a misnomer. Because if you want to continue to get money from people, you are on the hook for proving it, not us. You want it to be true? Prove it. Prove it one time. But you can't because you're lying. And I'm sorry that I'm the one who's a great storyteller, who takes notes going back to the beginning of July so that I can put it together at the end of July. Sorry that I have that skill. But I'm not the only one, which is why multiple people prove on a daily basis that you're lying. They may do it by streaming you. They may do it by creating videos of you. They may do it by creating videos of their own that tell the story. This is how I do it. This is how I do it. So, man up and show it. Prove it. Where did you get the letter that said you were denied TennCare multiple times? Because they have to write you and tell you. Or if you set it up so that you get emails, show us the emails. In fact, you can log in. When you fill out an application, you can log in and it will show you all of the correspondence. Show us where you were denied. And then I'll believe that you need help with your prescription. But based on everything else you've said and done, I don't even need to waste my time. I know you're lying. Because it doesn't make sense. Sue for certain medications, yes. And in fact, there are lots of pharmaceutical companies that will not only give you a discount, but if you were able to prove your indigent lifestyle, they will send them to you for free. Correct, Sue. They will email you either way. So Tim, sorry. And I appreciate everybody who puts things like that on YouTube so that when I miss it, I'm able to go watch it and then I can come and tell you. It's no different than watching it live. I just get to pause it and slow it down so I can write what I think. That's the benefit to me. If I miss it, if I don't see the whole thing, or if it's going so fast, I need to be able to pause it. So thank you, Nookie, for that. Okay. Meat and potatoes. Originally, I had someone else on the list. But as usual, people put themselves on the grid. I know, Trolla, give me one more second. I'm about to get there. So last night they went live, and they are still going live to try to get $2,000 for their new house. Now the story goes that when they signed their new lease, the landlord told them that they are thinking about, or that they are going to sell the home. Anybody with any common sense would know that there was the potential that they would have to leave before the end of their lease. Now, in some cases, the new owner will allow you to live out your lease, and then you have to go. Other home buyers are buying the home for themselves or a friend or a family member who needs it right away. So you have to get out. But you were given fair warning, which means immediately you should have started looking for a place. And then you follow whatever the rules are. You have to give your landlord 60 days notice, and then you can go. But of course they didn't do that. They made assumptions. And you know, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So in that case, it would be Josh and Ida. You made an ass out of yourself, assuming that you'd be able to live out your lease. But even more importantly, you knew when the end of your lease was, right? So why weren't you looking for a place? Even if they let you stay to the end of your lease, why weren't you already getting money together, saving money, so that you could move? Because at the end of the day, whether it was now, the middle of the lease, or the end of the lease, you were still going to need first, last security and moving expenses. And it's been reported, but I have not confirmed, that when the landlord came to them and said, I've sold it and they want you out, that they were told that they didn't have to pay 2 months worth of rent. So what did you do with that money? Right, Izzy. At the beginning, when they said they were going to sell the home, that was the fair warning. So they have been going live a few weeks now, saying, right, cash for keys, exactly right, saying that they needed $2,000 to move. Josh and Ida, why is it still $2,000? Does that mean you haven't gotten any money? Because you have said, let's pull it up. We will be battling for the down payment for the new house we got approved for. So all gifts towards the down payment is $2,000 to get in our new house. Please, no negativity. Don't got time for that. So join the live and help us. So I watched you battle several times. Have you gotten no money towards the $2,000? Because you're not reporting that you've gotten any money. You're not saying, well, we battled and we earned $30, so now it's $1,970 that we need. The gifts that you're getting in your live that's supposed to go towards it, you're not announcing that. Why is it still $2,000 even though you've been begging for it for weeks. For weeks. So, while he's begging, I decided to take a photo of this as well. Look at that setup. It's hard to see because of the lighting, but the light can be any color. They have those, originally, those are supposed to be soundproof panels. Now, those panels are also sold on Temu and Shein. So it could be Temu or Shein panels. But the panels, thank you, Ladybug, and the computer, they have the whole setup, the headphones, the chairs, the microphones. But anytime they've needed anything, they don't sell a single thing to prove to everybody that they're serious about whatever this bill is. Nope, they want people in the community to pay for it all. All of it. They don't even try to contribute to it. So, for instance, when they had that electric bill and they showed the amount, they didn't even have $5. They didn't have $5 to add to the bill. Ain't that strange? So how are you paying for your kids' school lunch? How are you putting gas in the car? How are you buying the coins you need on your game to keep playing? Right. No more karaoke, boo. But you got all of this under control. You got this. I'm just a troll. No, I'm a truth teller. That's what you don't like. I'm a truth teller. And I'm a truth teller based on what you do and say. I don't make it up. I try to make sense of what you say, and when I can't make sense of it, you're lying. You're lying. So let's see. One of the first things she said last night was that in a year or two they will be buying a house because of course they're destined for greatness. You can't pay your electric bill, but you're buying a house? And let me warn you, if you are a giver to Josh and Ida, you know how they're going to be able to buy a house? Because they're going to make you pay all their bills so that they don't have any late payments. You're going to put them in a house, not them. They're going to have you pay all of their bills so that they don't have any past due, no charge-offs, all of the things, and then they're going to be able to build their credit off your back. Off of you going to work every day. Not them. Not them, you. Mind you, how many of y'all are in a house? How many of you own a home? But because you're sycophants of Josh and Ida, you're willing to give up your money so that they can live a dream you yourself are not living? Make that make sense. I wish I would give money to somebody so they could build their credit, so that they could buy a house, but I'm in an apartment. Make it make sense. So, she started off by saying, I went off the other day, But I'm not today. I'm going to stay calm. You can say whatever you want to say. You could be a troll or whatever. I'm going to stay calm. We're not doing any muting or blocking. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. And then she said, when we say we're destined for greatness, we don't just mean us. We mean everybody. We wish you all greatness. And then they had the nerve to say that they are actual content creators. Look, we even have a YouTube channel. Having a YouTube channel does not mean you're a content creator. But you're a content creator when you're begging for money? That's content creation? When did begging for money become content creation? Or is it when you're doing everything else but begging? When you're playing the game online, when you guys are talking about trolls rather than begging, that's content creation to you? Or when you do those stupid skits, that's content creation? Okay, I'll give you that. But begging is content creation? And then somebody was going back and forth with them. And she said, look, they only have 11 followers. As if the number of followers defines your character or your worth. The fact that you have, 50,000 followers, 90,000 followers, and the most you can get in your room is 100, and I will say at least 45% of them are trolls, and you're laughing at them having 11? When you are battling, you can get 6 people in there, maybe 10. Yes, you can, just Kim. You can buy followers. But you're going to laugh at somebody with 11 followers and you can barely get 11 people in your live with your thousands of followers. But because that's all you have, you use it to try to make other people feel small. You have all of the followers in the world and still can't get to 2,000. But that's because you are using a faulty sense to define character and worth. Anybody defining their worth based on the number of followers they have is looking for a fall. Because guess what? TikTok can snatch that account faster than you can turn left to right. And then you'll be back at 0 followers. And the question will be, can you get back to 50? Good morning. Can you get back to 50,000, 90,000, 100,000 followers? Or will people realize that all you are beggars on TikTok, so they'll pass the next time? Thank you. So, then, let's see if I took a picture of it. They did a post where they say, of course, they're battling to move. And he said they took the GoFundMe down because someone reported it and it's sad. We just need to get into the new place. Begging on live is out of the question. We don't want to beg anymore. We are exhausted from the trolls and hate and humiliation when we go live and beg. So the best and fair way is to battle. And please be nice and respectful. Lisa said, bum, get a job. Kimmy Bear said, nope, figure it out like adult. And this buns of Fatil, I guess, fat eel. You've known for 2 months that you needed to come up with this money, So go figure it out for the first time in your adult life. Go figure it out. But you said that you were not going to beg, that you were going to do it by battling. And what are we doing? We're back to begging. So then, lo and behold, I found a post. Wait, did I not take a picture? I didn't. Wait, did I? I guess I didn't take the picture. Hold on, let me put their faces back up. I didn't take a picture. But I'm going to suggest that you go to their page. Because 2 days ago now, as of today, Josh did a video where he explains that he has quit his 9-to-5 job to pursue a career in content creation. He has always wanted to do this since middle school. Sir, you have to move. You need the money to move. And you decide to announce that you quit your 9-to-5, how about you never had one? Because who quits their 9-to-5 right before they need money to move? If you don't believe me, it's on their page. Go see it before they take it down. Luna, they claimed that that was just to troll the trolls. But this one wasn't that. This one wasn't that. This was a sit-down, serious, face-to-face with his followers. Because he even said, if some of you stop following me because of this decision, I'm okay with that. He was dead serious that he now wants to pursue his middle school dream. These are some of my thoughts about that. Sir, before you decided to pursue your career in content creation, you should have done that before you added the responsibilities of being a husband and a father. You think that at your big age, it is okay to beg people for the money to cover your expenses, whether it is daily expenses or expenses that are in excess of what you actually need, so that you can pursue your dreams, your preteen dreams? Are you serious? You have mouths to feed. You have housing, electric, internet, water, phone services, insurance, school-related fees, clothes, hygiene, etc. And before you pop off as a content creator, you want your followers to cover those expenses? Correct, Scammy Awards. This is the problem. He hasn't even really gotten started. Because according to him, he's been working all this time and still needed help. Imagine what's going to happen without his paycheck. Because remember, they required to show their income to get approved for said apartment. And now is the moment.
Someone was detected at your front door.
Sorry. Now is the moment that you quit, just as you get ready to move into a new place where you're not sure how the expenses are going to pan out. You don't know what the electric bill is going to be every month. You need to feed your family, pay the rent, pay electric, pay water, pay for your cell phone bills, Pay for a very strong internet so you can do said content creation. You got to put gas in the car. Hopefully you have life insurance that you're paying so that your kids are taken care of. So who's going to pay those things in the meantime? Because your wife's one salary as a CNA to her mother-in-law ain't going to be enough. Now, according to her, listen to this. She works from 2 to 7, Sunday to Monday. Are you either saying that you work 2 days, Sunday to Monday? But she said she works every day. So Sunday to Monday will mean that you work 7 days a week. But usually what you would say is, I work Monday to Sunday. Sunday to Monday implies that you work 2 days. Monday to Sunday implies that you work 7 days. And we know that's a lie because you're on live. When you guys need to beg, you guys are at home all day begging. Now, her job may think that she's at work because her mother-in-law will sign off on the paperwork that says she was there every day, even though she wasn't. But there's no way you actually work those hours. But you say stuff with your whole chest, not realizing that you're exposing yourself. You look ridiculous. Let's get back to my notes. So, a true man of God, a man with character, a man that has responsibility, honor, and a love for his family will put the needs of his family before pursuing any dream. Forget about a dream you had in middle school. What if your kids want to go to college? Even with a full ride, even with a full scholarship, there will be expenses not covered by said scholarship. What if this dream doesn't pan out? Have you ever thought about how disappointed your children would be if instead of putting them before your middle school dream would have benefited them? They could look back and think about all of the things they would have been able to do if you were truly a man of God, truly a man of character, truly a man of honor and responsibility and love for his family. What they would have been able to do and see and experience. But instead, you put your dream before them, their needs, their wishes, their desires, their dreams. A godly, responsible, honorable, loving husband and father would do both. He would provide and be an example of someone who pursues his dreams. Because you want your children to be able to have a dream and pursue it. But it is equally as important for them to understand that while you pursue that dream, you still have to take care of yourself. Instead, these are the lessons you're providing your children. Number 1, that it is okay to lie to whomever to get what you want. Number 2, that you don't have to work hard to get the things you need and desire. Just beg somebody else to do it. Number 3, that it is fine to marry a man that doesn't prioritize his family. And vice versa. Because I think they only have girls. But if they were to have a boy, that it would be fine to marry a woman that puts dreams ahead of the family. Number 4, that you should pursue your dreams to your own detriment. That you have no moral...
Someone was detected at your front door.
I'm turning it off. I'm sorry. That you don't need to have any honor. You don't need to have a moral compass. Pursue your dreams at all costs, regardless of who you should be, what you should be, and how you should behave. And 6, that you should put yourself and what you want over the needs of your children. Those are the lessons you're giving to your children. You actually said you can't believe people on the internet if they don't show their face. Well, people on the radio don't show their face. Some people who do podcasts, you don't see their face. But you want so badly to say, don't believe the trolls. Don't believe them if they don't show their face. Tell me where I lied. Tell me where I lied. Because the only thing I've done was watch you, watch your videos, listen to you, and put it all together in a story to try to make it make sense. And it doesn't. You said you work 2 to 7 Sunday to Monday. I didn't say that. So when we try to check, okay, 2 to 7 Sunday to Monday, does it mean the 2 days a week? Or does it mean really Monday to Sunday and then you work 7 days? Because we know that would be BS, because when you're begging, you don't leave the couch. You and Ida take turns on the phone begging for said money. When are you working? And now Josh has come out with an official video to say, I've quit my job to pursue content creation. It's my middle school dream. I didn't make that up. Kelly Givens, you texted them. You're friends with them? Like you know them enough to be able to actually text them? Or you sent them a DM? Thank you for liking the lives, guys, because you know they would love to come for me and get me taken down. They would love to. Oh, okay. I would love for some of their people to come in here. Absolutely love it. You are welcomed. None of you are blocked. Neither are Josh and Ida. Now, what's interesting is that yesterday they said that they weren't going to mute or block anyone. So when they started talking about the new rules, I asked them like I asked everybody else, can you please post the source? Because they were laughing about people not being able to stream them and screen record them and post it on YouTube. They thought it was funny. But they wanted to leave out the part where people were also saying that you can't beg on TikTok either. We'll see about that when it came to that part. But they were very excited that people couldn't do what I do. Or what other people do. I don't screen record. I don't stream them. I strictly talk about them. I watch. I take notes. I do my commentary. And I come here and share it. So even with those new rules, it wouldn't affect my platform. Because I don't do any of those said things. Hold on, sweet sassy. I'll let you up in a second. Because I just want to finish this. So, you said you wouldn't mute or block anybody. So my first question was, can you provide the source to prove that those are the new rules? Of course she was flippant. You go look for it. I have looked for it. And then it was like, why are you even in here? Well, I'm not being rude. I'm not being nasty. I'm not trolling you. I'm asking a legitimate question. You are referring to quote unquote new rules coming out tomorrow on TikTok. Can you provide the source? And she just kept being flippant. You look for it, you find it, blah blah blah. So when I realized that of course she has absolutely no proof whatsoever, that she's just spewing out stuff out of her mouth that she heard other people say, I said, can you please ask Josh if we could have our one-on-one? There's only a couple of people in here, and clearly you aren't really going to get any money. So, of course, she's like, he didn't say that. I swear I'm going to go find, hopefully, somebody recorded that live. It was the live when they were asking for the $600. And at first he was like, anybody could come up here. I'll talk to y'all, even the trolls. And when I asked for a box, he said, well, I'm not going to talk to you until after I get the $600. After I get the money, I'll talk to you. I'm going to find that live. And I'm going to clip it. And I'm going to share it here. I can't share a clip here. I am going to post it on my live. Because I have no reason to make something like that up. Why would I make that up? That Josh said,
someone was detected at your front door.
I thought, hold on, I guess I didn't do it right. Okay, I turned it all the way down. Why in the world would I make up Josh agreeing to talk to me? Ida, are you afraid that another woman wants to talk to your man? Trust me, girl. I wouldn't go with him on my absolute worst day. I wouldn't go to him on my last day on earth. You don't have to worry. I'll keep the beautiful, handsome, sexy man that I have that goes to work and pursues his content creation dream at the same damn time. I'll stick with what I got. It's better than yours, I promise. But anyway, I asked nicely. I said, can you please? She was like, he never said that, and we're not going to talk to you. Well, why not? You always talk about what the trolls do and say, and when you have an opportunity in your own life that you control, okay? So that if I got rude, I started yelling, cursing, you could drop me, mute me, and block me. What are you afraid of? Because you talk with all this bluster, you talk like you don't care, you say that we're just TikTok warriors behind the screen, that we use our keyboard to be. If I am nothing but that, what's the problem? What are you afraid of? And so I strictly said, so Josh lied to me? Josh didn't lie to you. And then she blocked me. So I went back in underexposed and I said, I thought you said you weren't muting and blocking in this live. And she said, well, I'm blocking now, and blocked me again, as if I'm not going to still be able to watch. I lurk in the shadows, boo. I'll always be able to watch. And if I can't watch live, guess what? We have lovely people in the community that will either screen record it or download it and post it on YouTube. So I don't understand why you get off on blocking. Because blocking means it does nothing. It just makes you feel good in the moment. Because it's not going to change a single thing. I'm going to be able to watch you, and I'm going to be able to come to my platform and talk about it. Nothing's going to change. The only thing that happens now is that I get to rail on you at will because you don't have the balls to let me in your box and have a conversation. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid that I might tell some truths that you don't want the 11 people who are actually supporting you in your life to hear my truth? Is that why? But Lola, it's fake power. It's fake. It's power without a base. Because it doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't stop anything. It doesn't change my platform whatsoever. No, I know, Lola. I'm just adding to what you said. We will always come back. And when I'm not there, the hills have eyes. We will still be there. Do I take requests for other people to expose? I sure do. But don't do it in this moment. Cuz I'm going off. So, I'm not going to pay attention. But when I do the open mic session, that's when to do it. Cuz I still got a whole nother set of people to roast over the coals. But let Sassy up.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Yeah, I was in that live when you went in there with
Hmm.
Tim and Angela.
Oh no,
They
we're not talking about them yet.
okay.
We're not talking about.
Well,
I'll talk about them in a minute.
okay.
Okay, you can
Hey,
come back up afterwards.
okay.
All right, honey. I haven't got to them yet. We got 25 minutes. 20 minutes. I promise you it's going to take longer than 20 minutes. So please, if you can stick around. If not, I understand. And if you can't stick around, don't worry. This will be posted by this evening. You'll be able to rewatch it. You'll be able to tell other people that they can go watch it if they missed it. Because y'all know I have a ton to say about them. And so, Steve Crick, get ready. We about to get to you. Be prepared to come in and make your presence known, or you can make your presence known.
My phone is
now.
connected and charging.
So, Josh, Ida, Maggie, we're not talking about you today, baby. But we are tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So you're welcome in at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. You are the subject of tomorrow night's live. Okay? But not today. You can go watch somebody else. As you say, the old lady isn't talking about you today. But put it on your calendar. Tomorrow at 8 p.m., you will be the subject of conversation. And you can come in with all your little girls, all your children, and do what you do. But let me remind you that if you can get on the app and straight beg, I can get on the app and talk about it. Fair is fair, right? She'll be there. So, Josh and Ida, what is the fear? Good morning. Did you mean to come up? Hello? Crazy Capricorn. Hello? Did you mean to come up, dear? If not, I can drop you. Did you mean to come up, dear? If not, I can drop you. Okay, let me just drop you. So, might as well promote it. Hold on. Might as well promote it so Maggie knows exactly. She can add it to her. You know what? Hold on. Let me find it. This way you can put it on your calendar. As a matter of fact, put it on the list, your beg list. Put it like 3 or 4 lines down. Tomorrow night. Thank God it's Friday. Thank you, Sherry. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Oh, it is? Because I can see it. All right, hold on. We can fix that. There you go. Screenshot it. Add it to your calendar right now. 8 p.m. Eastern. There will be 2 topics. Maggie Foster and Beth Osborne. If you would like to sound off on either one, you will be welcome because the box will be open. I'm not doing all of the talking. I done already talked for, it'll be 11 hours this week. Yeah, I'm done talking. This is the community's chance. Okay, long enough. Got it? Okay. Now let's get to the big elephant in the room. For those of you who may have missed it, you missed a good one. I know there's a couple of people that I'm going to let up. Give me a few minutes. Well, for tap your fingers off facts. Thank you, Sherry. So we know that Tim and Angela are listening because just Monday or Wednesday, it was probably Wednesday, I said something about the fact that why would they come on so late at night to now have to beg for $90? The money is slowing down, so it's going to take you longer to get it. But we all know that things like that are the setup to make it sound urgent, right? It requires urgency. Oh, we got to have it by 11 in the morning. It's 9 o'clock at night. Please, we got to have it. We're good for tonight, but we're going to need it for tomorrow. And she can't be out in the heat because of her seizures, and it's too much for Juju. So we got to have it. But after I made that comment, Sweet and sassy, I just said I'm not letting anybody up in this moment. I'll invite people up when I'm ready. So, damn, I lost my train of thought. So, I said, why wouldn't you come on earlier to give more people time to get you the money? And lo and behold, yesterday, they were up a little bit earlier. They were up a little bit earlier, asking for the money. Mind you, it was pretty late in the afternoon, and Angela was just getting up to start the day. I had been up, out the house, back at the house, doing the chores, and y'all are just starting the day? Okay. But that's how I know you're listening. There's another reason why I know you're listening, but I'll get to that in a second. So you're up early asking for the money. You then say that you need the money because it's so important because you go into your job tomorrow and you need to make sure that she has a comfortable place to be while you do it. For a man who doesn't want anybody to know where he works, why are you revealing so much information about it? You even said that it is local, it's easy for you to drive there, and that you could even walk. He loves being tutu. Why would you tell us that? Echo, stop. Echo, stop. Goodness gracious, what's up with you today? Oh, I know why. Sorry. I had to set an alarm yesterday for 9:20, but it was already past 9:20, so she made it for today. Okay, not her fault. My fault. Of course she's going to use it as an excuse because she's already saying that. They're going to make me lose my job. They're going to get us kicked out of here. Sir, for someone who doesn't want people to know, you are dropping an awful lot of hints. And I said that weeks ago. Remember when he said that he doesn't want to work in a factory, he wants to work in retail? And I was like, why would you tell us that? There's only so many retail establishments in your local area. I said it weeks ago. And now you can walk? Now, this is the thing. There are several creators, two in particular, that live in your town. They didn't drive there to check you out. They're not riding around town just to stalk you. They live there. How long do you think it will be if you work in retail? How long do you think it will be if you work in retail that one of them is going to see you? Now, I'm not suggesting that they expose you where you work because I want you to have a job. I want you because I want you to have a job. I want you to stop asking people on TikTok for money. So I am in no way, shape, or form suggesting that they reveal to TikTok where you work. But you've already given all the clues. But then you want to say people are after you? You said you weren't going to say anything, that you weren't even going to say when you got hired. People would only not could assume what they wanted to assume. And yet now we know that you were waiting for the background check on Monday. Or you said it on Monday and I talked about, or you said it Monday or Tuesday and I talked about it on Wednesday. And now on Thursday, you're telling everybody you got the job, that you have to go fill out the paperwork today, and that you could walk there if you needed to? Absolutely 100%. You're saying it so that people have enough clues. You're saying it so that people have enough clues that if they wanted to, they could affect your position. But let me give you this piece of advice, Timothy. If you work really well, if you're a hard worker, if you listen, if you're quick on your feet, if you're able to take direction and do it, if you're able to work independently, there should be nothing anybody could say that could get you fired. Okay? When you dot every I and cross every T, nothing they could say could get you fired. But because you have already not dotted every I and not crossed every T by letting everybody know that you're in within walking distance of your job, you've already started to blow it. Pull it back. So Tim talks about any random thing that comes to his mind. And within those random thoughts are peppered the trolls, the trolls, the trolls, the haters, the haters, the haters, awareness, awareness, awareness. Oh, Angela's illnesses. Oh, Angela's illnesses. Oh, Angela's illnesses. And we need $90 for the room. And did you also notice that he mentioned last night that when they have extra money, they put it in the gas tank? Extra money from where? Extra money from where? So is your hotel room really $90 or is it $70? And you take the other 20 to do what you want. And you take the other 20 to do what you want. Now, while I would not suggest that anybody follow you around town and record you and post it on TikTok, because I think you do enough on TikTok that we don't have to know what you do in town. But somebody did. And as soon as you got your money, y'all ran to McDonald's. Why didn't you go to the grocery store and buy food that you could use to cook for several days for the amount that you could get from McDonald's? But no, again, you were just like everybody else. Once you get the money, you feel entitled to do whatever you want with it. And if the people who give you the money are okay with that, they're okay with that. They're giving it to you to help you out, and you and Angela can do whatever you want with it. Be my guest. But what I will say is that it speaks to your character. Because if somebody sent you extra money, you could have paid one of the ladies back with it. No? You know how much you owe them. Why don't you beg for that? And say, listen, I want to get this off my back. You guys help us with so much. Let's help me pay her back so the trolls can stop talking about it. But of course not. Why don't you ask for the extra money to get the tire iron or whatever you say is broken with the car fixed? Because then you could go further out of town and perhaps find work. Find something Angela would like to do other than lay in the bed. You can beg for anything else you want, but you don't beg for the things that would improve your life. I know that, Lane. That's the true reason why he can't do DoorDash and Uber Eats and the like, because they can't prove insurance. But remember when I said on Wednesday, how come he never asked for gas money? Isn't it interesting that yesterday he let us know that he puts gas in the car with extra money? Where is extra money coming from? Wow, the comments are going by fast. I'm sorry, guys. I cannot see them all. And plus, when I get into my commentary, that's it. So I went on, right, they never asked for dog food either. I went on with my day, and suddenly my phone starts dinging. And I saw one person in particular. So I clicked on it, and they said, Tim and Angela, or I should say, Tim just said that he got a phone call, and he said it sounded like you. Now, Tim, that you could, the only way that you could even suggest that it was me is if you listen to me. While Steve Crick sits in the background and says that I'm rude to him, while Steve Crick sits in the background and says that I'm rude to him when he comes in my life, when I'm not, but he won't take a box. Steve Crick, why did you need to make yourself apparent? But anyway, so I didn't know the pre-story at the time. I have now heard it. I've watched the live. And so apparently, while he was live begging for money, he got a phone call directly to the hotel room from a woman, from a woman, and by his storytelling, he said that she said that, and then he was like, who are you? Who are you? And they changed it from you owe me money to you have gotten money from a lot of people on this app, or you owe a lot of other people on this app money, something along those lines. Let's just stop right there. Does that sound like a mistake I would make? I've never had a conversation with Tim or even an email, text message, DM exchange before yesterday. An email, text message, DM exchange before yesterday. So why would I make the mistake and say, you owe me money, and we have never communicated? Never. Never once communicated. And y'all know that there isn't a single scammer on this app that's getting $1 nor a penny from me. But anyway, and apparently she said that I know exactly where you are. I know exactly what hotel room you're in, and I know exactly the hotel you're in, and I know exactly the room you're in. And that I said something about showing up to said room, and or I was calling the cops. And when he hung up the phone, because of course he was muted, he came back to his chat and said, that sounded a lot like that woman that goes live in the mornings, that digital deceiver. Excuse me? How would you have any idea it was me unless you listened to me in the morning? Because where did that come from? What did that woman say in any way, shape, or form that could lead you to believe it was me other than the voice? Because I'm nowhere near you in Tennessee. Everybody knows I live in Florida. So, how I could show up at your door doesn't even make any remote sense whatsoever. In my entire life, I've never been to the state of Tennessee and have no desire to go. I live in a vacation state. I just got to go up the street to go to the beach and enjoy myself. So, when I got word, I went into his live under an account that people didn't know was me, but it's a digital account. It's princess underscore DDS. Everybody knows me as Digital Deceivers, and I always add the shadow because the shadow is what describes me. Not the digital, not deceiver, it's the shadow. And I went in and asked for a box. And the first thing he said was, did I say your name? And I said, this is digital. Oh, this is you? And then Angela, in all her wisdom, called me a dumbass. Now, did she say I was a dumbass? Because how dumb could I be to call, threaten them, and then ask for a box? Now, in your own logic, Angela, me doing that would be dumb. So why would I do it? But just to help them out, I did a little research because y'all know how I do. And I looked up the definition of dumbass. So a dumbass, which is slang by the way, is a person who is acting foolish, ignorant, or lacking in common sense. And it is often used to criticize someone's behavior or decision in a blunt or mocking way. Were you projecting, Angela? Because he also called me a dumbass. Were you projecting, Tim? Because between the three of us, I don't act foolish, ignorant, or lack common sense. But it sounds like it describes you. Because I didn't get mad and break my Apple Watch and then need people to send me money to replace it. I'm not addicted to watching Reddit because I want to see every word said about me. I don't lack the common sense to know not to beg people for money at my job. I don't have the lack of common sense to say that I'm not going to tell everybody where I work and then proceed to give every clue under the sun. I think it was projection. So, so we got one more. So people who use language like that, I also always say they don't have the intellectual capacity to debate. So they go to name calling. Well, let's look. You're emotionally immature. You lack the self control. How long have I been saying that? You lack the self control or awareness to handle a disagreement constructively. You're insecure. You use insults to mask your lack of confidence and understanding. You are intellectually lazy. You avoid deeper thought or critical discussion by defaulting to insults. Shout out to the woman who calls me ghetto in defense of Beth. You are defensive. You react with hostility when challenged instead of engaging thoughtfully. You're combative. You treat every conversation like a battle to be won and not an exchange of ideas. You are unable to engage in civil discourse because you struggle to communicate respect, egotistical and arrogant. You believe that you are always egotistical and arrogant. You believe that you are always right and you try to belittle others rather than explain your views. So calling me a dumbass before you even heard what I had to say exposes you more than you could ever expose me. So guess what? I'll take the title. I'm the dumbass. But look at all the things this says about you. That's the first thing you say when your husband tells you that I'm requesting a box. And then he proceeds to call me a dumbass before he heard anything. Now, this is the thing. If you were only saying or insinuating that it might be me, that it sounded like me, why would I be a dumbass for asking for a box? You only said you thought it sounded like me. So why would I be a dumbass? Granny Annie, you're hilarious. But okay, you called me a dumbass. And guys, this video is in a lot of places. But I want to give credit to, I always want to call him Country Boy. Wait a minute. Hold on. I actually have a thing. The Gold Star Award goes to Southern Girl 128, Country for Life, 1202 Snark, and Trollovision. But I'll explain why in a moment. But if you go to Country for Life 1202 Snark, you'll hear it all because that's where I watched it. But it's other places. Because what's crazy is people were in different lives all listening and they all heard it. Okay. Ooh. Let's see. Let's give them all of the due that they deserve. So I get in the box And I explained that under no circumstances, and I mean zero, would I ever call a hotel, a job, threaten anybody, tell people I'm going to call the cops? Why on God's green earth would I waste my time to call them to send some idle threat when I have an entire platform where I talk about you 3 days a week? It doesn't even, it doesn't correlate with who I represent myself to be and doing that. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I wanted to make it clear to him that I didn't, nor would I ever. So then he says, now that I'm hearing your voice, I realize that it's not you. Boy, did we backpedal fast. We backpedaled faster than we could walk forward. And he apologized, which I appreciated. And I said I appreciated it and that I accepted. But that he said it while there was only 158 people in his live, there were hundreds of other people listening. And I said, he kept trying to say, well, I only said it sounded like you. I didn't say it was you. Let's be intellectually honest, which now we know they don't know how to do. You put my name out there because you wanted people to believe that awareness was coming after you. And to hurry up and send you the money because look at what these big bad wolves are doing to me. That's why you did it. And you decided to put a name to it because everybody knows that digital talks about Tim and Angela. So the big bad wolf is coming after me. Help me, help me, help me. Now, and then he said he took it as a threat. So now you're telling your chat that you're in fear of a woman that lives down in Florida that talks about you 3 days a week? I haven't done a single aggressive thing that would put him or his woman in fear. And yet that's what you wanted your chat to believe that I did. And so I said, ask your chat, did they think that by you saying it sounded like me, that it was me? And he kept trying to overtalk me and interrupt me. And then, lovingly, a lady named Jenny said, that's what I thought. It could be implied that it was you. Of course it is. Let's stop it. And I said to him, please do not. I said, you want me to, us, I think I said us, to speak about you individually, to be 100% accurate all the time, and to know what we're talking about. But you can wrap all of us under this one bow and just say awareness, and we're all bad people. We all do the same bad thing. And then, of course, he tried to be like, well, I've gotten DMs and I've shown the proof. I've never seen it. Post it to your page, Tim, that people have said that Mexican homie and Just Stop Already sent them in here to do such and such and such and such. But that's not me. And he said, I've never had anything with your name on it. But yet and still, you can tie a bow and put me in the box with everybody else. Mind you, do I believe it of the rest of what other people have said? I don't. And I'll tell you why in a minute. And people in the chat were like, he's already apologized. Excuse me. He spent 2 to 3 minutes dragging me, but yet I'm supposed to just say, oh, he apologized. That's it. Dragging me. But yet I'm supposed to just say, oh, he apologized. That's it. Thank you. Goodbye. No. Again, guess what, y'all? You are able to say anything you guess what, y'all? You are able to say anything you want. That does not absolve you of the consequences of what you said. And let's understand something. The First Amendment is about the government not being able to trample your right to say what you want to say. People have that confused. They think that that means that everybody, everywhere, around the world has to respect their right to say whatever. You could say it. Two different things. So, I say to him, when I make a mistake, I come back to my chat, I say the mistake that was made, I apologize, I recant, I do whatever it is that I have to do to make it clear that I was wrong. That's how I handle a mistake because I don't hold myself to a purity standard of perfection. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm human. We are all going to make mistakes. So I don't worry about it. I just make sure that I clear it up when it's done. So then he starts going on with whatever. And I say, let me give you an example. And I said, you have said that in your termination letters that it specifically says that they were tired of getting phone calls from TikTok from the awareness group, and so therefore you are terminated. As someone who did human resources, and I said, wait, I said, and I challenged you to post those letters. And he was like, I don't got to share my personal information. Well, as a person who did human resources for many, many, many years in an at will state, there is no way on God's green earth that any company, large or small, is going to write in a letter why why they fired you. And for people who are not familiar, let me explain why they won't. Because when you go to unemployment and say I was terminated, in an at-will state, it can be for cause or for no reason at all. Do you know why they use no reason at all when they terminate you? Is because if they give a reason, unemployment is going to say, did they get a warning? Did they get a verbal warning? Did they get a written warning? Did they get a plan of action? Did you give them enough time to correct said behavior? And if the answer is no, they get unemployment. So that's why when companies want to fire you, you get a verbal warning and a written warning and an action plan because they don't want you to get unemployment. And the reason why they don't want you to get unemployment is because their unemployment tax liability goes up. So that's why they fight unemployment so hard because their liability goes up with each person that gets unemployment. So when you're in an at-will state, you don't state why. You just say, this is your separation letter, effective such and such. You need to turn in such and such, and you will receive your last check on such and such. We wish you well in your future endeavors. Well, he realized that I was exposing one of his largest lies to date to his entire chat. Who's the dumbass now? I'm going to get to that. Who's the dumbass now? So, of course, he muted me, dropped me, and then blocked me. But they heard me, Timothy. They heard me. So now what? You've already backpedaled and apologized 3 times while I was in the live. Who's the dumbass now? Now, I know, of course, the people who love you ran to give you the money so you could stop embarrassing yourself online. But what I hope is that some of the people who have believed every single word you have ever said take pause and think about what I said. Think about the fact that he is absolutely prepared to put a false jacket on someone so that he can get money. Because he keeps talking about this job, this job, this job. He's not going to get a paycheck for either 2 weeks or three, depending on when he starts in the pay period and how often they pay. Again, I was in HR for many years. And when I say I was in HR, I wasn't the HR secretary, I was the director of human resources. And I went from that to being the chief operating officer. So guess what? Y'all are going to still be sending them $90 every day for at least the next 2 to 3 weeks. So buckle up, bitches. It's not over. Be prepared. Because this is going to be every single day for at least 3 weeks. Am I telling your people you're going to have to make sure she has a place to stay comfortable for her and Juju while you're at work? And you're going to have the car, Juju, while you're at work. And you're going to have the car. Angela doesn't work. So I'm foreseeing she's going to need DoorDash because she's going to need breakfast, lunch sent to her, and then they'll figure out dinner together. And he's going to need more gas money because now he's going to work every single day. Buckle up. This isn't over. Thank you, White Sox. White Sox even said, buckle up, bitches. This isn't over. Thank you, White Sox. White Sox even said, buckle up, bitches. Yeah? So, you could try with me. Worst mistake of your TikTok career was to try to challenge me. I bet you'll never do it again. What I can promise is I'll never be in another tin box because I made you look silly. And I'm going to continue to make you silly on my platform. So first, oh, and then somebody named Matt gifted me while I was in the live. I didn't even notice. And they got blocked for gifting me. Why? Why? Yeah, Big Ange could go stay at her sister's or sister-in-law's or whatever. That's where she went the other day. She could go there during the day. And in a few weeks it'll be cold, so y'all could stay in the car. You won't have to worry about the heat. 6 more weeks or so. Who pays for the gym membership? Tim and Angela. She can go sit in the gym all day. It's nice and cool. She'll have a shower. Doesn't Planet Fitness have a spa? Go sit in the spa all day. Thank you, Disturbed One. So I want to appreciate everybody who sent me kind words, everybody who sent me information about the live to begin with, everybody who recorded it and posted it. I appreciate all of you. Because as usual, I cannot do this without you. Oh, I forgot one other thing. I also said to him that on a very regular basis, I tell everybody, if you don't have to believe me, go watch for yourself, which is why I always put the name and the act. I give you some information, go watch them for yourself and come to your own conclusion. Brinson, listen, 45 where? Mind you, I'm older than the both of them. I promise I look younger. As the saying goes, black don't crack. My 80-year-old mother looked better than them. And so he was like, oh, so you think people don't believe you just because you say that? No, I'm not saying that for that reason. What I am saying is that I stand by what I say so much that you don't even have to take my word for it. Just go watch them yourself. That's why I say it. Not because I don't want you to believe me. I just want you to be able to verify that what I say is true. And you want to know how? Because people will often either say in the comments or come in the box and say, I was in that live and yep, that's what they said. 100%. And because other people record and post it on YouTube, you don't even have to watch it live. Everything that I've just said, you can go listen and hear it for yourself. So after everything was said and done, mind you, Miss Angela was sitting there in silence. Why didn't you come forward, Angela? I was a dumbass. Why are you hiding behind your husband? Why are you letting him do all the talking? Run your mouth. Say what you gotta say. But then, please come up, Troller. And Southern Girl. After everything was said and done, and the replays were done, people noticed something. Where y'all at? I need Trolla and Southern Girl. Wait, why? Oh.
Good morning.
Good morning. Southern Girl, do you feel comfortable coming in the box? If you don't, it's okay. But I want to give you credit where credit is due.
Yes, big shout out to Southern Girl for really listening, and I'm blown away. I really appreciate it.
Go ahead, Trolla. You have the floor, baby.
Oh, Well, what do you want me to do? Play it? I don't.
You can play it and then
Okay.
explain to everybody what it is.
All right.
Baby girl.
Sorry, I got a loud mouth. No, I'm just kidding.
No, she's just confirming everything I said.
Yeah, that's all she's doing. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna move to the other room for a second because I want everybody to be able to hear this.
And by the way, is it posted on Country's account?
It's on Country's and it's on mine. So either page they go to, they will be able to see it. And I'm gonna download the full live itself in full entirety and upload it to my YouTube.
Okay. Thanks, White Sox. She just threw up.
All right, give me 1 sec. Got Baby Shark loud in here.
And I gotta make sure because he'll eat it afterwards. Oh, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. What do I have?
All right.
Be patient, guys.
This is a clip that we shortened to bring just so that we can play the part, because this is the part we want you guys to really hear. But the full unclipped part is on both Country's and mine's page for viewing purposes. And I'll get the live uploaded as soon as I can to YouTube. But let's see if I can get this to work so that we can hear it.
No way. No way.
Hold on. I don't know if we're going to be able to hear it.
That's okay. Just let them know that that's the video, and then you can just tell them what it is.
It definitely.
Okay. Give me 1 sec here. So if you go onto the page, there is a video that I did post as well. I think I might have duetted it or copied it onto my page from Country's page. This is from the live that we had held where we were streaming. And this is where Tim is talking about the phone call that had occurred right at the time where he said it sounded like digital. And then he's going into full topic conversation about what the call entailed. I do want to say too, after watching it back, that call lasted less than a minute. So for everything he was spewing out, I don't know how they all talked about that within a 1 minute time span like that. But as we were watching the video and Tim is telling the story, Tim brings up the fact that the person on the phone said, well, you're begging people for money online. And you can hear Angela, you have to listen, clear as day though. She goes, oh, I didn't think of that. As if this whole entire story was orchestrated and they had this game plan, but Tim threw in a different storyline and Angela was like, oh, I didn't think of that. So I'm going to try to see if I can put my phone up for you to hear. But I don't know if it's going to be loud enough. But we're going to try. If it wants to play. It does not. What is happening? Sorry, guys.
You're at. Well, who are you? Yeah, no way.
And you hear Angela say, I didn't think about that, as Tim is telling the story. Clearly, it says, I didn't think about that. Now, if it's, again, it's on Country's page, it's on my page, it will be posted to YouTube, but it clear as day, you can tell that was a plan. That call did not happen. It was fake. And Angela flipped up and thought she was whispering low enough, but she clearly was like, I didn't think of that.
Now, my question is, under what context, while he's telling the story about somebody calling and threatening them, would her saying, I didn't think of that, make any sense?
Right.
But wait a minute, that conversation happened before I got in the box.
Correct. It sure did. This was before Dee Dee even made it into the live anything. It was literally almost exactly immediately when he had made the assumption that it was her. So, and obviously Tim wasn't understanding that not only was there 100 people in his live, there was multiple other people that were streaming Tim at the same time, as far as Just Stop Already, Country, and myself, Caught in 4K, TikTok beggars. They were all streaming him as well. So every single person that was in all of those lives heard that accusation as well.
Correct. They planned on villainizing me in order to get money. That was the plan. And he slipped up because somehow he thinks he has this intellectual superiority over other people, that what could go wrong with letting her in the box? They found out. Correct, Stephanie. When you accuse me of something, let me in the box. Stand on it. But it was all just to say, see, we're being villainized. We're being villainized. We're being threatened. Please send me money.
I please encourage everybody who is here to go to one of the pages, Country's, mine, it doesn't matter. Listen to it for yourself so that you can hear it where it's quieter. You have that better, and you will understand the full context even more of, you can tell it was fully, what happened, you can tell it was orchestrated. It was a setup. Nobody actually called their hotel room to threaten them in any way like that. Because like I said, as Tim's telling the story, if Angela was sitting there with him when this person called, why would Angela be like, oh, I didn't think of that? Like, come on.
And the thing is, let's say for any sake of the argument that I would do that, why would I then go in their live to confirm that it was me? That threatens their existence, that made them feel uncomfortable. Why in the world would I do that? So when she called me a dumbass, or I should say they called me a dumbass, that's actually how stupid they thought I would be. I stand on what I say and what I do, but would I intentionally incriminate myself when they don't have? Because this is the thing, did he record the call? Did he record the voice so that he could prove to y'all that it was me? Because I have a very distinctive voice. People would know it was me. But yeah, in a minute, I did all of that.
I
And
mean,
then you want to
I'm pretty
cry
impressed.
after? And he wouldn't have muted me either. Thank you, Tanya. He wouldn't have muted, because he dropped me from the box. I was still talking. But the moment he realized that I was clocking him about that letter, because again, y'all, he uses stuff like the letter, the Facebook post, getting fired, to say, look at what they're doing to me. I need you guys to rescue us. Look at what they're doing. Which is why he will never post it. Or if he does, somebody will have made it for him. And if he does, I'll be checking to see if it's real. I'll be checking to see if it's real. I'm the wrong one. And because there is an entire community behind what we do, you won't get away with it. So you better go back to doing what you used to do to beg, because putting false jackets on us is no longer going to work. And the only thing you did by saying my name is making people more interested in who she is. That's it. So, thank you.
And I can't stress enough, Angela is the fakest, sweet person you could ever meet. She is so much more in, like, she's not as sweet as innocent they try and make her out to be, with her sitting in the background and, you know, all quiet and this and that. She is 100% a humongous part of this and a master manipulator right along with it.
Absolutely. All the crying in the
Yep.
background.
But
Thank
you
you,
know what?
Tim.
That video clip that we got is gold. That's all I can say. You clearly are getting sloppy in your desperation, and you done messed up.
I just want y'all to remember, the person who comes in here and calls me names or you names, understand where that's coming from. And even in your real life, when someone starts calling you names when you're trying to have a conversation, remember this. Because this is why you don't have to get mad. When a person can't have a conversation with you without resorting to name calling, cursing you out, all of that, it means they do not have the intellectual capacity to go back and forth with you. And that is your cue to walk away and smile to yourself. Don't get mad. Be like, really? That's where we go? Okay. I'm gonna leave this conversation because you're not on my level. You're not on my level. So have at it. I'm a dumbass. Thank you. And that's why I posted the dumbass will be live in the morning. She don't even know the name of her seizure med. Oh, they probably have it down now because just like when Tim says his cancer diagnosis, he says it so quickly and so eloquently, people believe it. But
And
Nicola, be careful who you call a dumbass in the future.
and all the proof on the fact that she never truly had actual cancer, that it was pre-cancerous, has been posted as well.
Ooh,
So when he goes around saying that she is a cancer survivor, she never, pre-cancer and cancer are two separate things.
correct.
And
Every woman knows that has seen a gynecologist.
exactly. And it's a slap in the face saying that, Tim and Angela, to people who weren't as lucky to be able to get it caught pre-cancer. Okay? You should be thankful and blessed that it did not have cancer. You should be using the term pre-cancer.
And
But
just again, oh, I'm sorry.
you
Go ahead.
that's okay. You use that term for when it's beneficial to you, because you know if you use the pre-cancer, people aren't going to feel as sorry. So you got to throw it out there that it was cancer when it was not. And a lot of people are upset with you on that too, guys.
Let me just say this. I had precancer cells for many, many years. And we just kept watching and we just kept watching. And eventually I ended up with a tumor large enough that by the time they did the surgery, it was the size of a grapefruit. And I had to have a full and complete hysterectomy in my early 40s. My sister, who is 70, was actually just diagnosed with uterine cancer. It was not precancer, it was cancer. And she too had to have a full hysterectomy because of it. So, how dare you use precancer and turn around and try to say it was actual cancer? It is two different things for the men in here who might not know. You get you go to the gynecologist and get a swab and a scraping. They send it off to the lab and they determine if it's cancer or precancer. You know what they did when it was first precancer? They went in and froze my uterus so that all of the cells would die. It would regenerate new cells, hoping to get rid of the precancerous cells. That's what they did. So you understand completely. That's what they did with my precancerous cells. And I was in my 20s.
Yeah, there are a lot of people, on this app that have went through it, lost people and loved ones to it. I've lost loved ones in the past, and just recently my grandfather was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. They found it way too late. It's already spread to his brain, his stomach, everything. He's
I'm
been on
sorry.
chemo for about 2 months, and he doesn't have much left, and he just said he's ready to give up. And it really grinds my gears that, there are people who are lucky enough to catch stuff in time and they can be cancer survivors. And then there's people who can't. And for you to run around and use that word so easily,
Got you.
when it really, what if it really does happen to you? People aren't going to believe your story. They're going to be like, well, you've said that before. And we found out that you weren't telling the truth. I can't understand why people do that. I really can't.
Anything to get what they want. That's their character. They'll say anything and do anything to get what they want. Period. And that speaks to your character more than you can say anything about me being a troll. Any of us, for that matter.
Thank you, everybody, for the comments. I didn't mean it for anything. I just was like, that's one of the frustrations that has been bothering me recently, was that, that people just use it so freely, thinking that it's just something that it's not that serious, but it really is. And there are people who really get offensive when they hear somebody using that for financial gain or sympathy and things like that. There are people that it does bother. Oh, thank you all for one. And I need them to, they need to stop. If you're going to go out and you're going to tell this story, that's fine. Say precancerous. Stop going around and saying she's a cancer survivor. You're slapping real survivors in the face.
Absolutely.
You're diminishing their feelings and their happiness in a way, because you're using it for money grab, and they never used it for anything. They're just glad to be alive.
And there are probably real cancer survivors who support him because they understand what it's like to go through it.
Correct. And that's the messed up part, is they do have so many people who are battling things, and they use that as a tactic to get them to sympathize. And it's awful.
Guardians of Valor, I agree. We should release the letters that you sent so that he can stop lying about them, especially the fact that he didn't have any way to get in contact with you. That grinds my gears, because I know how you send documents, and there is always a way to reach out to you. Period.
Absolutely. If people could get on board and they can be redacted enough to post them, I think that they should. I think that they should be exposed. The truth needs to be out there, because at this point, it's all the he said, she said, and Tim's just using it and using it and using it, and he's going to continue until he gets blasted.
Absolutely. And I'm here for it.
Absolutely, me too. Especially after what we found last night, like I said to you. So, Southern, girl, thank you for listening so attentively. Country, thank you for posting it. And then I went back and I listened and I clipped it, and I immediately was like, Dee Dee, we need to talk.
Absolutely. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for everybody who's been through it, who's going through it, who's concerned about it in their future. Let's be
Absolutely.
a real community of people who support each other, and not people who need to lie to get support.
Absolutely.
Completely different thing. So I want to thank everybody. It's almost 10:30, and I know people have real life. This live will be posted by this evening, depending on TikTok, Canva, and YouTube. But I will be working on it. Oh, I'm sorry, Sweet Sassy. Yes, yes, yes. I did say you could come back up.
I'm
My
gonna hop
apologies.
down, but thank you, Dee Dee.
Okay. Thank you, Trolla. I appreciate you so much. I'm
Hey,
sorry, Sassy. I forgot just that
uh,
fast. You
that's
have the
okay.
floor.
Oh, yeah. I was in that whole entire live, and then after they kicked you out of the box, Gizmo sent them all their money except for $4, and their mod Kata sent them the $4 so they wouldn't have to use their overdraft.
What?
Oh yeah, and a few days ago, RoboCop Ron said that he has been bananaed through all the awareness groups, but he's going to continue to send them money for as long as he can.
Robocop, you not bananaed here. You want
And
to stand 10 toes down on what you do? Show up.
I just don't get. I think that Gizmo, the picture looked like maybe an older lady. I'm assuming, but I just don't. I don't get these. They're enablers. It pisses me off. And oh yeah, RoboCop, and then Betmar Carey. She's always sending money between him and Jeff Gainey.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. She loves her mod position. Or he,
But
I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but
it's
they
a
love their mod position.
and oh, Gizmo's given to beggars, other beggars. Okay, I didn't know that, but yeah, I don't know where they get their money to. I don't know, but when I saw the GoFundMe, because it was hasn't been quite a year yet that they Tim and Angela had, that cancer survivor really has it pissed me off because Mr. Sassy lost both of his parents and his mother was my best friend. You just that's nothing. All these people that use cancer on here, I'm sorry, I don't, it's you just don't use it. This it's not a word that you throw around, and people that use that should get jail time. I think something. It's just you just don't. It's wrong in every type of level.
Absolutely. 110%. Because it invalidates the truth.
Oh yeah,
Now, when you hear precancerous, and especially if it's the first time, of course you're nervous. It's the big C, right? But then
exactly.
when you understand the truth behind it, listen, your cells are showing pre-cancerous, but there's something can be done about it before it becomes cancer. And in your case, they decided to give you a hysterectomy. Let me be clear about something. Women get hysterectomies every single day. It
I've
is a major surgery, without a doubt. It is a major surgery, and my tumor was so large I couldn't even get it done laparoscopically. I have a cut that I feel like it's from my neck to my toe. It's so long. Do you know that you can't cut through your belly button? They can't cut through your belly button. So they had to cut around my belly button to open me up that wide to get the tumor out. There's a difference.
and see, I've had a hysterectomy, and uh, I've had a normal pregnancy, and I didn't have no stretch marks or anything. And then when I had my hysterectomy, I have a big scar, and everybody's like, "Did you have a C-section?" I'm like, "No," but they had problems with my hysterectomy, so they had to make a huge scar, so it looks like his like from a C-section.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's nothing. I don't know. It just mm, these people really pissed me off, and it hurt my feelings for you yesterday when his chat, even though his chat means nothing, was coming at you even when you left the box. It just, oh, thank you, Trollovision. It just, I don't know. I have a heart, and these people do not understand. Us awareness people, we only want people to succeed, and we want them to work. We don't want them to beg. They have to be to do it on their own, like everybody else does.
Mm-hmm. We want them to be independent. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I even said that yesterday. When I said I'm not gonna call your job. I want you to work and take care of yourself. That's my point. Not that I want to see you literally on the street with nothing. Now, are
Yeah.
there some people who might like that? There are sadists in the world. There are people on your side that would love to see me homeless. Y'all are constantly saying I'm going to get my karma and I'm going to be homeless one day and I'm going to be in the same position. So, the same thing you do not want us to do to you, you are asking karma to give it to us. Make it make sense.
It makes no sense. And I don't know. It just,
I know it's disappointing.
it's like,
Again, it's one thing for you guys to just say what it is, keep it a buck, but the need to try to drag people all over the app in order to get money, the need to lie about your conditions because you think it makes you sound more sympathetic, the fact that you go around accusing people of things that aren't done to your benefit makes you one of the worst.
and
You as
see,
a couple are some of the worst on this app.
and I don't get it. Maybe I guess we're a different type of people here. Because if I was to do that, I'd be embarrassed to ever come on any type of social media. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. But I mean, because I have a conscience.
Correct. And a moral compass.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, how? I mean, every day I see it, I'm thinking, there's just no way. I can't even do a little white lie because I feel like a little tiny lie. I can't because I feel like I always tell the truth because I'm like, there's nothing, you know. But when it comes to cancer, I've my mother-in-law was my best friend. I watched her through the beginning to the end, and it's yeah. So I will roast anybody that uses that for that doesn't have it.
Yeah, Jamie. She's another one I can't stand.
But well, I'm gonna get down here so you can get your nap in.
Okay, you know it.
Yeah. But thank you, and thank
Thank
you for
you for
yours.
coming up and sharing. And I appreciate you having been in the room to confirm what I said. I mean, I know hundreds of people saw it, but I appreciate you being in the room
I was
to
shocked.
confirm.
I didn't think they was gonna let you in the box,
I
and I
didn't
was like,
either.
but
I honestly didn't either.
hey, Sydney, thank you. But thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too. Well, God, yeah, they did. They were cocky. He must have really thought it was me. No, they made up the story. What do I mean? What he wasn't expecting was for me to show up because he's used to throwing around names and never being held accountable. He was not, which is why he was so mad about Guardians of Valor because somebody was holding him accountable for what he said and did. They never expect to be held accountable. You're not going to be able to throw that kind of jacket on me and walk away. Mm-mm-mm. Because whether he let me in the box or not, we would be having that conversation today. Yes, somebody else told me that it didn't even get the full ring, and he picked it up. And now that I know that it was only a minute, and I said all as much as I talk. You think that's how long the conversation would have been? Like again, be for real. Anyway, guys, it's 10:30. I appreciate everybody who stuck around to hear it all. Um, I appreciate all of the support. I love you guys. I love this community. We all don't always agree. We all don't always get along, but we all have a common purpose. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had a common purpose, but they went about it very differently. It's okay that we do it different. So please hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. Please do some sort of self care today. 15 minutes is the minimum, unless you can only do 10, unless you can only do 5. And for please, because I'm going to start asking Monday, at least 1 minute a day of being able to focus internally so you can become as whole as possible, so you can be there for all the people that you love and care about. If I do not see you in the streets, you'll see me tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. All the people who were shy, I need you to buck up because I'm not doing all the talking tomorrow. I love you all.